so many things that I identify with that I did for such a long time. But to be back feeling this is bliss. So, in continuing the conversation around my awakening process, so God sent me this man, or a couple of men actually, that helped me to further dive into my healing. For a very long time, I want to say 2.5, maybe 3 years, I didn't understand what was going on. I wanted to be in a blaming energy to where it was your fault, your fault, your fault. It doesn't make sense that this is happening to me. And it just felt like a lot of things were unfair. But as you grow and as you ascend, you learn these things, as time goes by. There's no time frame on when, but you will learn these things as time goes by. And you don't need closure. You don't. You learn that no one owes you anything. No one owes you anything. My experience, I really didn't want to talk about this in this video, but karmic cycles. So I talk about this in my friend groups about learning lessons. So you may have a thing about you, an insecurity, a personality trait that you ignore, that is not apparent to you, that slights you in a way to where people don't see and know who you truly are. And for that reason, your vibrational level attracts that in someone else. And sometimes it turns out that the experience that you have with said person brings you insight. You learn things while you're with them, and it doesn't have to be a partner, it could be a friend. But then let's just say something happens and boom, right? The person disappears out of your life. So you get no closure. But then 6 months, 8 months, 3 years, 4 years later, God sends you a next person in your life, or a next person appears in your life, and they remind you so much of that person. Let me tell you, that is a twin flame. That is a karmic partner. And a lot of times they are the ones who mirror back to you who you are presenting as in the world. A lot of karmic cycles we are living to fulfill from our ancestors, our parents, our sister, our grandparents. And it's just interesting to note the karmic cycles that my grandmother had with different men that she dated and had children by. My mother had with different men that she dated and had children by. The type of men in relationships that my mom had carried, that my sister had gone through an experience, that I had gone through an experience, that my brothers had gone through an experience. And it feels good, and even though it's difficult, it feels good to be able to fulfill karmic cycles. And I think you have to reach a certain level of enlightenment to be able to say that. I don't have any animosity. Like, you got to get to a place to where, like, you're calm, you're okay, you know things are over, that it's done. I'm trying to be very careful with my use of words, but there were a lot of lessons that I needed to learn spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, about myself. Not because of the relationships that I've been in, the experiences that I've had in life. Yes, they do shape you. Yes, they do change you. Yes, they do influence your behavior. But you need to look at yourself to see what you are doing. You need to look at yourself to see who you present as. With much like talking about doing shadow work, it's kind of the same, to be able to keep your eyes open and stay on the same level plane. When we are writing down in our journal, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, our answers start to become more consistent. And when you're going through an awakening, it may not be as apparent to you, but you'll slowly start to connect the dots, and you will slowly start to disassociate yourself with your ego. I will save the ego conversation for another video, but in the beginning, it will be cloudy to you, and then essentially start to become clearer if you are making stride. I remember the first time I was able to sleep and stay asleep, I made a journal entry about it. I remember when I first manifested money. I manifested money so many times. I felt like such a light being. I remember predicting endings. I remember predicting, what's going to happen to you in a year. I used to do tarot card spreads. I remember, I predicted a court case decision for a family member, like almost down to the detail. And it really becomes easier the more you practice these things. But being able to practice these things during an awakening, you have to disassociate yourself with the things that you use to identify yourself. Food, music, people, your energy. You have to disassociate. You have to disengage. You have to actively practice so that your messages, your intuition speaks to you, clarity comes to you, accountability no longer feels like such a harsh judgment, and you learn to see things as they are. You learn to see people as they are. The things that you manifest happen at such a faster rate. And like the feelings that I used to have, I prayed them away. Like the happiness that I feel that my life has changed. The gratefulness that you feel when a certain thing no longer bothers you. Being able to put a smile on people's faces and reassuring them and actually feeling empathy for others. Being able to teach others about your experiences. Being able to put yourself in a position to not control outcomes. Man, that was a huge thing for me. Releasing control. I was no longer in charge of the final outcome. But it wasn't in a manipulative sense. It was stay true to yourself and your word and who you are. And those things that will come, will come. Those things that will fall. And those who cannot come with you, they just won't come with you. And you have to practice your daily spiritual work to get right within yourself, to honor your true calling, to finally, I used to call God Big Papa. I call the universe Big Papa. It's a long road. It's a long road. It's an intentional journey. Everyone has mess. Everyone has mess. Nobody is perfect. But coming out on the other side of an awakening, It's like when I was talking about meeting your highest self, you're above everything, okay? You no longer let certain things bother you. You no longer need to cope. Oh God, trying to cope with alcohol. Oh my God, you no longer have to do that. Your body will reject certain things, certain energies. You can't be around certain people. You know, you get irritable when you're around certain people who are not genuine. Oh, I remember there's this guy that I saw, I can't remember his name. He was saying that on average, you should only need to spend 2 to 2.5 hours around certain friend groups and friends, because after a while, the conversation turns into gossip. And I remember distinctly timing it. Now that was manipulative. Timing it. Now we're going to start talking about this. Now let's see how long this conversation goes on. And it's so crazy to me when I go to places like TikTok, where that's such an active social platform. So many others out there experience the same feelings as me. You don't want to be around gossip. You don't want to take part in drama. You want to apologize to yourself for the role that you played in the drama. You don't want to be bothered with that. Oh, I don't want to be involved with nobody's drama. I don't want to hear anybody sob stories about how they can't pay their rent. I don't want to hear how you can't pay your car note, but you taking flights to Miami. I don't want to say sorry. I just don't want to play a part in it. I don't want to hear it. And you're so unapologetic about it. Because of this, amongst so many other things, it's such a freeing feeling. You're up here. It's such a freeing feeling. Never want to get too deep in these videos, but I really just wanted to nab at that. I pray that you have friend groups that allow you to offer your intellect, that they're not just shooting the shit with you and playing it small and playing it short. I pray that you're around friend groups who invite your energy, who leave you feeling happy and not drained, not questioning your presence in their life. I hope you have friend groups that allow you to feel motivated and inspired, changed, growth, and pleased. With all of the wisdom, I've always had wisdom. There's just been a time in my life where I'm playing double dutch, trying to have the wisdom, but you're trying to be with someone else and be a partner to them and be a friend to them and love them and accept them and challenge them and nurture them and take care of them. So many things I identify with that I did for such a long time. But to be back feeling this is bliss. I said the ultimate feeling was love. The ultimate feeling was gratitude. I mentioned ultimately is love. But to just release all control. To know that you are not in control. Whoever you pray to. It is such a great feeling. I pray that you all experience this, have experienced this. I don't want to keep talking and make a exceptionally long video, although I know this is a conversation I can talk about for a long time. If you all enjoyed this video, please leave me a gratitude message in the comment section below. Be sure to follow me on all of my social medias, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.